Right. 6 July 2020, and I'm joined by Mr. Jaison Midzi from the Zimbabwe People's Party. How are you, sir?
How are you, Mr. Gambakwe? I'm okay. How is Zimbabwe Media?
Very well. And today, we want to go straight into the topic of the day, the demonstrations that have been called for the 31st of July. What is your opinion on this?
My opinion is that, yes, people can call for demonstrations. That's fine, but they are not going to be successful. It's a good thing to call for them, but they are not going to be. Success is another issue.
Okay, why do you say so?
For a demonstration to be successful anywhere in the world, the army and the police have got to be supporting that kind of a demonstration. We saw the only demonstration that was successful in Zimbabwe was in November 2017, when Mugabe was removed from power. And that demonstration was sanctioned by the Zimbabwe National Army, and the police, they sanctioned it.
Okay. So why is the Zimbabwe National Army not sanctioning these demonstrations when they sanctioned in 2020?
We haven't heard their commander-in-chiefs sanctioning this demonstration, which is coming on this month. They are silent, so they are not supporting it.
Okay, do they have to say something, or people can just see for themselves? For example, the nurses were allowed to demonstrate. The ZCTU held a demonstration at the POSB last week. Students have been going to taxi ranks, and they were allowed. There was nothing that happened to these people. The MDC last week was in Mbare. They held a demonstration, and there was no interference. Is that not a way of the army saying we support these demonstrations?
No, they were left demonstrating because the army would have done all their intelligence work and would know that this thing is going nowhere. Mind you, I told you before, Mr. Gambakwe, that angry people cannot sustain a 2-week demonstration. If I can unpick something, what is the reason why people are demonstrating? Is it to remove President Mnangagwa? If that's correct, the case, yes. If that is the case, then it has to be a long demonstration. And for a long demonstration from angry people, mostly it's impractical. And what you can see here is we see people who are hijacking, who don't want to give credit to other people. People who are not thankful. Why do I say so? The person who called for such kinds of demonstrations to remove President Mnangagwa, if you follow very well, it's Mr. Albert Matapo of Zimbabwe People Power Movement. So us as Zimbabwe People's Party, we would have listened to a call that Mr. Albert Matapo would call. But all other people who are hijacking Mr. Albert Matapo's idea are just trying to show that they are not thankful and they don't consider the efforts of other people. So that's why this demonstration will bear no fruit. Anyone who would have wanted to do a good demonstration would have talked to Mr. Albert Matapo, who has been everywhere, talking to people, trying to encourage people to say, let's come together, let's do the Egypt style. But no one cared about Mr. Albert Matapo. People wanted to wait and do at their own time and take credit. But when you are divided, you can never do something that bears fruit.
Okay, but Mr. Matapo has not given a date. Jacob Ngarvumi, Tajamuka, and even Senengam has given a date.
Mr. Matapo would not give a date because for you to give a date, you need to have people's cooperation. People did not cooperate enough with him for him to give a date. But these people who are announcing dates, if they got people's cooperation? Or it's just a matter of me waking up and saying, we are going to demonstrate to remove Mnangagwa? Does he go like that? Do we have the army's support? Does the army want? Because the Zimbabwe political terrain is dictated by the army. We all know that. So
Okay.
this is not going anywhere.
Right. But then what will the army get from this demonstration? Let's say the army supports this demonstration. What will they get? In 2017, they put their men into power.
If the army had a strategy or had someone to put into power, which they don't have at the moment, they would have supported, they would have initiated a demonstration. The one for 2017 was initiated by the army. But this one, which the civilians are going to initiate, is not going to bear any fruits, and there's no strategy in place. And people who are saying, let's remove Mnangagwa, do they have the person that they are going to put in place? Like Ngarivume, does he have a person he's going to put in place?
Yes, they want to put in place a national transitional authority.
A national...
that is what they're saying.
And do they have a list of that of the team that is going to work in that National Transitional Authority? Because for you to say, I want to put so and so, you need to consult extensively and come up with a blueprint or a document that you can say, guys, when we start an NTA, we are going to have so and so, so and so, so and so in this team, and they will be looking after this and this and that ministry. But just waking up to say we are just being chaotic and trying to do something. This thing is divided and it will not bear any fruit.
Right. Mr. Midzi, I want us to summarize what we're saying, then we proceed. You said the demonstration of 31 July, that will not work because it does not have the support of the army. And you say that the outcome of that demonstration is chaos, if ever it was going to go through. It's chaos. Then you said the small demonstrations that have been happening have been allowed because they have been assessed to mean nothing. Now,
that's correct.
I want to ask you a question regarding Senengamu. Senengamu has given Idi Mnangagwa up to the 7th of July, which is tomorrow. Right. He says between the 7th and the 10th, action is going to be taken. What do you say about that?
That is very laughable, Mr. Gabakwe. Senengamu is a ZANU-PF child. He is in ZANU-PF. He is what we call counter-strategy. If you remember, during the War of Liberation, there was a group called Maskuzab, those who came wearing, like, carrying AK-47s, appearing to be like the freedom fighters. That's a deployment of ZANU-PF to go and disrupt things. Senengamu will show to the world that if you demonstrate, you'll be beaten. Because he may not be beaten, but some of the unfortunate people in that group will be, sheep that will be taken to the altar will be exemplary. So to put fear in whoever wants to do those demonstrations. Senengamu cannot do any demonstration to remove anyone. He has to come out of ZANU-PF fully, and then he can now, but there is no demonstration that Senengamu can do which can remove his own party.
Okay.
How can you demonstrate against yourself?
Right, that's correct. I understand that Senengamu was fired from ZANU-PF.
He wasn't fired. Let me tell you something. ZANU-PF can create these other people that you people will think, oh, this person has been fired. But it's now a counter strategy. They will go and try to be like they're making noise, but they are there to disrupt the situation. Let me give you an example. Why did Ivan Mawarire not take the chance that had come to him on a silver plate the other year when he had thousands of people gathered around a Rotten Row court? Because he's a deployee from the system. He goes, he ends somewhere. He cannot take it up. If that was Nelson Chamisa, we had all those people gathered around saying we want Mugabe out. Do you think he was not going to take, or Morgan Tsvangirai, do you think he was not going to take that onus and say, let's get it done? But Ivan could not do it. Ivan and Senengam are the same deployees from the intelligence services.
Okay, but let's go deeper there. Who would have deployed Pastor Ivan?
Pastor Ivan could have been deployed. He can be deployed by ZANU-PF. He can be deployed by the intelligence services, or the MI, military intelligence themselves can deploy him. Because, you know, those people, they don't put on uniforms. You don't even know where they belong, or which barracks or which camp they are coming from. So they are part of the intelligence system. But Senengam is just a member of, it's a counter strategy of ZANU-PF. Like the Mujuru faction, they are all counter strategies which were there to disturb a real political part from challenging ZANU-PF.
Okay, so this is the chaos that you're talking about. That this is a chaotic arrangement. That is there. ZANU-PF is confusing the situation. What then should the people do? The people now are hungry. Can the people not spontaneously demonstrate?
What you need to see here is, when Mnangagwa said 2030, he meant it. He wasn't lying. Because the system, Mnangagwa is not a person, Mr. Gambako. Mnangagwa is a system. So as a system, people need not to be swayed. Like us in the Zimbabwe People's Party, we've told our members, don't be swayed by these side shows. Let's continue building our structures. Let's continue strengthening our party for 2023 so that we can shock these people on the ballot. What they are doing right now is to keep Zimbabweans entertained by these little things so that you forget to ask for results. Mnangagwa said, when he was being voted in 2023, he said Zimbabwe is open for business. There will be no corruption and all that stuff. But you see, what is happening is the opposition of his election promises. And if he was quiet, if there were no things that can entertain people, people would go to him and say, please, why is there corruption? What did you promise us? So these things happen for the opposition parties to kind of be distracted and forget to build the structures. If I ask you, is Chamisa in Uzumba Maramba Fungwe building structures? No. He's distracted. He's Ngari Vume in Uzumba or in Mount Darwin building structures. He can never be there. He doesn't know how to go there. He's distracted. But ZPP is everywhere in Zimbabwe at the moment. We are building structures. We are waiting for 2023. Okay.
Mr. Midzi, what you have said it needs a lot of digestion. I think many people right now are wondering, and they are questioning what they were thinking before. But what I want to ask is, do you see the 2023 elections, which is almost 3 years away now, being the solution, given the current suffering in Zimbabwe?
The 2023, like I told you previously, Mr. Gambako, it's only the people who can remove the government they voted for or who cheated themselves into power. The elections in 2023 will be done and will pass. And as a ZPP, we are preparing to shock everybody. Just wait for June 2021. We'll be doing our first mass rally in Zimbabwe. You will see that people are ready to change. But like I said before, a political party is not there to remove another party. Those parties which you know, ZANU-PF, MDC, Ngarivume, blah, blah, they are all acknowledged by ZEC, meaning to say that they should exist in Zimbabwe. So when you have a party that tells you we are here to remove so and so, it's a cheat. As we are here to be a government, to take over some of these constituencies and show good governance, show what it is. I'm telling you, this ZANU-PF will reform overnight when they see what we can do in one single ward or in one single constituency. And we are working towards that.
Right, Mr. Jaison Midzi from the Zimbabwe People's Party, you have said that these demonstrations won't work, they're not a solution, there's too much chaos, and the outcome that is anticipated will not come to pass. So I want us to wrap it up. What is your last word on this topic?
My last word is that Zimbabweans should learn to heed the first call. Should also learn to respect other people who have made the first call. Mr. Albert Matapo of Zimbabwe People Power Movement, he talked about carrying out a mass demonstration to remove Mnangagwa the Egypt way, Egypt style. That's the person people were supposed to run after and say, what can we do? Give us the signal. But when you have people taking signals from different sources, or people want to hijack someone's signal, then you get this chaos, you get this lack of results. So what we can say is Zimbabwe needs unity. Let's come to the Zimbabwe People's Party and be united and start to build our country and start to do things for ourselves. A people that does not depend on government is a powerful people, but a people that depends on government is a powerless people. And before I go, I want to say our party is following keenly on the developments in South Africa. We've been seeing some flyers encouraging people to beat Zimbabweans, to beat foreigners in South Africa. We will be having consultations with CIC Julius Malema on that issue. We want him to be on the ground, not to speak, but to disrupt any xenophobic attacks that may come to Zimbabweans. We also want to talk to President Cyril Ramaphosa. We're in the process to ensure that the lives of Zimbabweans in diaspora is protected. The lives of Zimbabweans in South Africa is protected. We are right on their throats at the moment. We are talking to them.
Right. Mr. Jaison Midzi from the Zimbabwe People's Party, it's always a pleasure talking to you every week. In fact, every Monday we have this conversation. But this week, I want to ask you to please join me between Friday and Saturday. I want us to assess what would have happened to Tsenengamu's score when he said between the 7th and the 10th. Something is going to happen.
I will join you, Mr. Gambakwe, and I will still be laughing. You know I laugh.
Yes. Right, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.